smarts and my...
He told me enough!
No, I...
Here's Chuck!
Now, okay. If you're expecting me to... You're probably expecting me right now to start raging and punching. Well, honestly, even though this is a bad movie review, I'm not gonna do that. Because while this movie sucked, there's worse movies I've seen this year. But this was a pretty bad one. Alright? This is just one that was just not needed. Just no point. Definitely sucked. Don't know how it was made over $500 million. But here we go. It's Don G. Corleone here, and yeah, I'm here with a bad movie review. And this review is going to be for a fourth installment of an animated franchise that did not need to be made. One I probably knew was not going to be good from the beginning, and knew I saw the trailer. And it's for a DreamWorks franchise that I do love. And that's for the fourth installment of this franchise. The recently released Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah. The first ever animated Force Awakens. It could be among those. The plot of this one is now apparently Shifu announces Poe that he's not going to be the Dragon Warrior anymore, so he needs to find a successor because he's now going to become the spiritual leader. And so he now pretty much Poe meets this bitchy thief who's voiced by Awkwafina. Yeah, again. Yeah, because now she's in like every animated thing nowadays. Like this chick voice, like, this was the comic relief from Shang-Chi. She was the annoying as fuck Scuttle from the shitty Little Mermaid remake. This chick was in one of the new Jumanji films, was one of the pigs in Angry Birds movie 2, was in another DreamWorks project that she was good in, called The Bad Guys as Tarantula, which she was good in that, I'll admit that. One of the few times she's not annoying. Other than that, like, I'm just tired. If you're all tired of this chick appearing everywhere, I'm with you on that one. I'm too getting sick and tired of this chick appearing almost every fucking animated thing nowadays. But yeah, he meets her, this bitchy fox voiced by Awkwafina, thinks she's perfect for the spot, and also encounters a villain called the Chameleon who conjures villains from the past. So pretty much, literally fights and battles a villain who is an AI addict, or clearly an AI fan. An AI creator. Yeah. Basically, this villain is basically a freaking AI user. Or an AI bot. Because like AI, they use versions of people and make them look more robotic. So yeah, this villain could be pretty much a freaking AI bot. Like, how is this chick a threat? This was a franchise that had an old, like, jealous son figure that, like, Tai Lung, who was just once a son figure to Shifu, then just grew, like, jealous and felt, yeah. Then this one had a genocidal maniac who's gonna nuke all of China. This one, the villain was, like, not really that intimidating, but even he was, like, even Kai, J.K. Simmons' character in this movie was a threat. He was gonna steal every Kung Fu Master's chi, so he was still a threat. But this chameleon chick, yeah, the chick voiced by Viola Davis, and literally just comes off as a freaking AI bot. Literally just morphs into many other people. and once the freaking Oogway staff, so almost rehashing several other villains. But how is this made? Well, this was going to be made from the beginning, guys, because apparently they wanted 6 of these movies. Instead of just 3, they wanted a 6-film series. Then Collider in 2016 asked the filmmakers of the 3rd film about a 4th film, and director Jennifer Yu Nelson said, like, they wanted to make it a perfect jewel. They wanted to see what happened next. Like, she didn't even come back for this, and honestly, she like lucked out and didn't want to make a cash grab franchise. Then co-director Alexander Caldo had stated that with the sequels, they didn't want to try to have them feel open-ended, yet you were fine making this. They want it to feel like a complete journey, and they feel this movie does. That was a big lie because you guys decided to make a 4th fucking film anyway. Yeah. And apparently, Jennifer Yu Nelson always saw it as a trilogy. But it was open to a 4th entry, but she didn't come back for the 4th entry, clearly. So they got the director Mike Mitchell to do it. Yeah, the guy who directed Deuce Bigalow, which I did decently enjoy. Like, Deuce Bigalow, now, although Deuce Bigalow I'd probably like better if it wasn't for the shitty sequel. Yeah, the Europe sequel, the shitty one for 2005, made by Sony. Yeah, like, the second one just ruins anything I like about the first film. Yeah, it's one of those shitty sequels that fucks everything up. He directed Sky High, which I did enjoy. That I liked. I think it's underrated. One of Disney's most underrated films. It's shame. I wish it got a sequel. What else did he do? Oh, he directed Shrek Forever After, which was the proper Shrek 3. And he also directed shitty stuff. He directed the 3rd Chipmunks film, directed the first Trolls. He directed the bad Lego Movie sequel from 2019, which sucked. And then he directed this. Honestly, this is... Oh yeah, I directed Sponge Out of Water, which I just thought was mediocre. But honestly, this movie was proof you need to stop giving this guy animated sequels, because now when he does a DreamWorks feature, they're never going to be good. Like, yeah. This was like, not only that, like, this was confirmed in August 2022, almost less than 2 years ago. This feels like it was just rushed and with confirmation. Because, like, yeah, like, it was around CinemaCon, like, more details for the film were revealed in 2023, and premise was described by Jack Black, and that stuff was all confirmed. Like, originally they wanted to be a live-action hybrid animated film. Thank God they didn't do that. That wouldn't have been this movie wasn't any better, but that probably would have been worse. Yeah. Originally, the chameleon was going to be called the Collector. Should be called the AI bot instead. Because, once again, she's a freaking AI creation. But after the movie was shot and marketed, this movie premiered, like, in March 3rd, 2024 at the AMC 14, and will be released theatrically in the United States on March 8th. Somehow this got positive reviews from paid critics, and somehow this got over $545 million. I don't know why. Now, I'm not really DreamWorks retired yet for my reaction, because, like, we still have the Bad Guys 2 coming out next year, so if it's Bad Guys sequels, that I'll watch. So, and I decided to give this another watch for their own benefits. Yes, I saw the trailers. This already spilled unnecessary and lame from the beginning. Like, it was perfectly fine ended here with this movie. They couldn't leave it alone. And the plot of this already gave me Disney's Star Wars vibes. Or even worse, Dial of Destiny vibes with the concept. Yeah, now I watched it. And of course I knew this would be disappointing from the start. I mean, I've seen worse sequels this year, like Ride or Die, Kingdom of the Apes. I also thought that sucked. That was boring as hell. Madam Web. This was also bad, though. It's except, like, not, like, rage levels of bad, but just unnecessary and generic. So, yeah, like, I'll still be pissed off at this movie. Now, here's the thing, though. The reason why I thought DreamWorks was coming back is because not only the bad guys, like, when I saw the trailers for another franchise revival they did nearly 2 years ago, which was Puss the Last Wish, I saw the trailer for that. I thought that was going to suck. It looked like it was going to suck because I hated they were doing the Spider-Verse garbage again, because I'm sick and tired of that appearing in every animated movie nowadays. And that was a bad quality eye with the film. Like, now, surprisingly, I ended up liking it. I was surprised I did. Like, I really thought I'd hate it. And that was also one I went to watch for benefits. I thought it would suck, but it didn't. That I was shocked about. Like, yeah, honestly, though, and that made me think that DreamWorks was finally coming back. Well, last year was a big fluke because they had Trolls Band Together, which flopped, Ruby Gilman, which flopped, and then you had this. Like, it's clear, like, because, like, Last Wish was so successful, let's revive all our other franchises now. Like, I know DreamWorks wants to make a live-action How to Train a Dragon movie that nobody fucking wants. I haven't seen any updates about that, but I hope it gets canceled, because that's a stupid idea. What else? Like, at least, like, How to Train Dragon knew when to frickin' stop. They stopped at the third one, and they were actually smart to do that. But they decided to make... But apparently they wanted 6 of these fucking films. Which, like, even though this was perfect to leave it alone. Like, Poe's now Oogway's successor. What the hell else could you do? And he's reunited with his father again. What else could you do? Apparently they wanted a Disney sequel trashology with this. Like, yeah. Like, when it comes to, like, when it, like, literally, yeah, like, when you have, like, when I had The Last Wish, because you could, like, when you kind of watch The Last Wish, it seems like a cash grab when you watch the trailers, but then when you actually watch the movie, it seems like you're watching a different movie than what the trailers were advertising, and you know where the plot's gonna go, and, like, the humor was actually enjoyable. The tone was actually evenly balanced. Like, when it gets dark, it's not afraid to get dark and violence, even. Like, that had Puss having a fucking panic attack. And, like, the comic relief, who's actually really enjoyable, actually calms it down. Like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is dark as shit. I'm surprised they actually did this. Like, they did Panic Attack better than a fucking Velma show did. You had an actual villain who was actually legitimately terrifying. It's actually terrifying in the Death Wolf. And even the other villains in that film. There was multiple villains in that film, and even they handled it better than films like Spider-Man 3 did. Did you really need the Jack Horner character? No, not really, but even that character wasn't overly bad. Like, there were some times he was entertaining as well. Like, I had bad qualities. I hate the Spider-Verse animation during the action scenes. It's fucking distracting, and I'm tired of Spider-Verse appearing everywhere. I like Spider-Verse, but I'm getting sick and tired of movies copying it now. Now, I've talked about... Now, let's just get on with this. I don't want to make this too long. When it comes to the 4th Kung Fu Panda movie, did I like almost any character here? No. Like, even Po this time just felt like an idiot. Shifu was useless. Li Shang and Ping were useless. Instead, most of our film is not only about Po, but it's about Awkwafina's bitchy character. And I kid you not, her character was so fucking annoying. I wanted this chick to die. Literally, I wanted this character to die. Like, when she's fighting the villain at the end, honestly, I'm like, even though I'm not a fan of the villain either, but this is the one scene where it's like, let the fucking villain kill her and win. Because I hated her character so damn much. Like, this one, like, somehow Po doesn't even know if he's good with martial arts, and now feels like a newbie. Like, this was the same guy who, in the first one, this movie was a kung fu fanatic and dreamed about being with the Furious Five, used the whooshy finger hold on Tai Lun, said, I figured it out, skadoosh, like, launched him to the spirit realm. This movie launched a bunch of fucking cannonballs at Lord Shen and his army of wolves, found inner peace, and controlled a raindrop in his palm. Then in this movie, he trained a bunch of pandas to fight Kai, regained their kung fu spirit again, and was able to banish Kai to the spirit realm. He met Oogway in the spirit realm, he gets his staff, becomes the successor. It's perfect right there. This is a good entire story, 3-part story arc. Why the fuck should this thing be a thing then? As if he's like, it's almost like as if he learned nothing from these past 3 movies, and now it just feels like a dumbass. You're an unfunny dumbass now. And then you have Awkwafina's character, whose character name is Zen. It's the cliche of, obviously starts off evil, and this apparently was working for the villain the whole time, but suddenly she starts to, somehow we're supposed to believe she starts to like Po, despite the fact that she often annoys him throughout the whole film. And then she ends up being good, and somehow she gets chosen to be the Dragon Warrior, just because because apparently, like, we need now 4, 5, and 6 to be all about this brat. Yeah, just rehash 2 and 3. We'll just have this brat be the role next. Yeah, most of the film, she comes off as a brat. Like, hardly even sounds like she gives a fuck about Poe in the slightest. And just likes this, and clearly just throughout the movie causes him hella grievance and almost even gets him killed. Even when she meets Shifu for the first time, she insults him. I think she either calls him a raccoon or squirrel. I don't know which one. It was one of those. Like, she calls him that. Doesn't even know what the hell a red panda is, apparently. Despite the fact that you're an animal, too. Yeah, like, this chick is supposed to be our new trilogy lead because they want 6 of these movies? Like, she had, like... No, this is a... Here's the thing. This guy had good character development in all 3 of these films. Yeah, like, he was supposed to start off as a douche, but DreamWorks clearly didn't like that, so they rewrote it and they made him a fanboy instead. There's times when he's a little goofy, but but even this guy actually knew when to turn his comedy off during the scenes when he's dealing with his foes. Here. This character Zen hardly does that. At all. Like, this Zen character has poor character development. Asking, like, if when she turns against her master, it's forced. There's no scenes of heavy emotion to make her turn. And the story is just really lazy. Like, a new Dragon Warrior. Yeah, that's The Force Awakens. That's the Dial of Destiny. Wow. How have we seen that before? And when, like... Yeah, when Poe chooses, when Poe's choosing a new Dragon Warrior, he picks a wanted criminal... An annoying wanted criminal that takes nothing seriously, instead of someone like Tigress, when a character from the Furious 5 who's like, oh, instead of this lady, who's been with Poe and has been like his closest companion throughout both these movies, instead of her, you pick this annoying chick that was just causing you hell throughout the whole movie, almost getting you in trouble, or almost getting you killed. You pick this lady to do it? No, I wouldn't. Like, how do we start this? Like, we start off with this herd of rams, and one of them gets met by the terrifying appearance of Tai Lun. Yeah, apparently, like, this also, like, made us think that Tai Lun was going to be back, that somehow Tai Lun returned, and apparently it's actually not, though. It's actually the AI bot Chameleon. So we proceed, then AI bot Tai Lun attacks and destroys the mine, and the rams flee. And then, of course, AI Tai Lun boasts no one can stop him. Then we get back to the Valley of Peace, where Ping and Li Shang, Poe's 2 dads, are running Ping's restaurant together, and Ping's worried about where Poe is, and the Dragon Warrior's finding a flying stingray that can apparently fly by the leg, and the Ghost of the Skies defeats the stingray. Poe beats the stingray, saves 3 piglets at 8, and then Poe goes back to the valley, and then we see Shifu, who hardly does shit the whole movie. He's trying to tell him something important, but Poe ignores it, foolishly, arrogantly ignores it. It goes to a restaurant opening literally that's based off his heroic exploits and just taking pictures and taking draw selfies with counts of the Fierce Five, because they're not in this movie at all. And so, but Shifu wants to speak to Poe, so they go to the Jade Palace, and he informs Poe he has to find a new Dragon Warrior to become the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. And Poe has to pick several candidates to be the new Dragon Warrior to show off their skills. But of course, Poe's too arrogant to think of that. He's like, the Dragon Warrior, it's me! I am still the Dragon Warrior. And we have that screaming goat joke with one of the candidates. Yeah, because that screaming goat joke is always so funny. Which is so annoying. Yeah, they have that stupid meme now with one of these, like, candidate cameos. Totally want to see that in a Kung Fu Panda film, is a screaming goat joke. So then Shifu goes to meditate so he can get ready. Shifu has Poe meditate so he can get ready to find a successor. And he got that inner peace or dinner with peace joke. And somehow, like, even though he mastered inner peace in this, somehow he doesn't even know it now. Like, the first 3 movies of this series, like, they stand strong with great cast, timeline, deep meanings. This movie's missing a lot of it. It's like, this movie just leaves you with nothing. You don't really learn to think about, like, the movie much. Like, you actually thought well about these when you watched them. I did. This did not even. It was easy to find that in all the previous ones. Like, you don't find any of this here. The pacing of this movie, like, it starts off calm, but the movie goes by too quick. By having a slow first half, you could have, like, strengthened the character arcs here. Like, no, you're just rewarded with a bunch of unnecessary filler. Like, yeah, the first bar scene, it would be extended more than what actually makes it interesting. The effects of the time extensions make the movie feel empty, and the plot is just claustrophobic, and the only familiar characters you have here, except for Poe, are just Shifu and Poe's dads. Do you get the Furious Five here? No, apparently they're off on their own mission, so why make a Kung Fu Panda film and don't have the Furious Five in it? Like, apparently, like, they just... Because clearly they just wanted to save money to make room for other big characters you don't care about. And besides, speaking of these three who do come back, what did Poe's two dads do? And what does Shifu all do in his story? Nothing! Shifu, oh, he has less screen time in the last two sequels. But here's the thing, though. He didn't have much screen time in these two movies, but he does shit. He actually did shit in the films. Like, in this movie, yeah, he didn't get much screen time. But guess what, guys? He persuades Ox and Croc to actually get them out of to snap them out and leave their jail cell, to join the Furious Five in the battle, to defeat Shen, and actually helps and actually shows up in the finale. And that was an epic entrance. Like, hell, he even plays a role in the third one, and still appears more when he's not in post scenes. Right there, and he got his cheese stolen, but he still plays a role. There. Here, like, these three do nothing. Like, yeah, Poe's dad from this movie, Li Shang, like, and Ping, like, they're both now just goofballs, trying, with a subplot of trying to be brave, and apparently Li Shang sucks at it, even though he's the same one who, oh yeah, in the flashback in this movie, he whacked two wolves with a hammer to save his infant son, and like, yeah, and then he learned Kung Fu again through Poe in the third one. Yeah, the third one he started off as a goof, but he went through character development in the third one. And he actually helped Poe defeat Kai with all the other pandas. Now here, he's just a goof again, as if he learned nothing from the third one. I'm wondering if Mike Mitchell even watched any of these three movies. Like, the tone just feels way off. It feels more like a spin-off. And things that happen, the way certain characters acted out, they're out of place here. Like, especially like when the chameleon gets defeated. So yeah, after Poe refuses, meditates, he then spots our bitchy Aquafina character who's sneaking into the Hall of Heroes, and she's trying to steal shit or even break shit. And then tries to use Oogway's Staff of Wisdom to fight her. And Zen makes an unfunny joke about it, like, oh no, a walking stick. It's a staff, you fucking idiots. Then Zen uses her sneaky tricks, knocks Poe on his ass, and tries to swipe the staff because she thinks it's a walking stick. The Dragon Warrior prevents her from escaping, has her arrested, and then we get the Jar of Souls thing broken again in the first, because that happened twice in the first two. Why do we need to repeat that joke here? And then Zen gets escorted to prison, and Poe gets met by Rams who tell him about Tylon returning. Poe's shocked, but he goes and investigates the mine. Apparently, Tylon's poppers changed to smaller ones in the snow. So yeah, that should give signs it's not even Tylon. So he goes to Zen's cell, asks what she knows about this, and informs Poe that it's the AI bot Chameleon. So Zen convinces Poe to let her free so she can help him track down the AI bot. But Shifu thinks trusting a thief is a bad idea. No shit! This guy's actually smart. And yeah, we get the scene where Zen insults Shifu and calls him like a different animal name. Because she doesn't know what a red panda clearly is. Yeah, like, I'm with Shifu on this. Why the hell would you trust this blight chick? This chick, like, tried to steal shit, tried to break shit. You gonna trust this chick? Like, when Poe breaks the Jar of Souls thing, like, he broke it by accident. In the first and the third ones. Like, he broke that shit by accident. Not on purpose. Here, and even he didn't try to steal shit. Like, hell, the fireworks scene in the first one, he was landing in there just so he could go see the show of who'd be the Dragon Warrior. He landed in the ring by accident, and, like, he wasn't trying to steal the Furious 5 spotlight there. He was trying to go see who the Dragon Warrior was going to be, and was just using it as a way to get into the crowd. and didn't try to ruin shit. But Oogway knew it was Poe from the beginning. That's the thing, though. He was just trying to go see if the Dragon Warrior was there. Sure, shit wasn't trying to break in the first one. But yeah, War of the Chameleon spreads to the valley, and everyone grows fearful. So Payne and Lee both try not to worry for Poe until they break down and they admit they're scared for his life. So the two then leave. They work together, go on their own adventure to help their son. And a plus subplot that wasn't even that interesting. So yeah. Then we get to Juniper City, where we meet a bunch of crime bosses. They're having their frustration and having to give a large portion to the AI bot Chameleon. And apparently she's among them in disguise, reveals herself. And because she was disrespected so much, then she feels she's getting, because she's clearly a narcissist. She shapeshifts into an AI elephant and pushes one of the bosses down the stairs and ups the percentage of their earnings. Now about the Chameleon, not only is she clearly an AI bot, this villain's a fucking joke. She's a generic fucking joke with a lazy-ass plan, almost the same exact plan as Kai, steal powers from other kung fu masters, turn into them, or steal their powers. That's Kai from the third one. Except this time it's just lazier, and she's now just a lazy joke. She just exists to be almost a clone of Amanda Waller, because she's voiced by Viola Davis. Pretty much the Staff of Wisdom that Oogway once gave to Poe Chameleon wants it to be a tool so she can access the spirit realm and unleash villainous chaos. Oh my god. When denied the chance to attain kung fu greatness, she turns to dark powers to absorb the kung fu greatness of others. This plot element was just recycled and uncompelling. And when it turns out Shifu wants Poe stopping the Dragon Warrior, there's no reason for that. If you think back to the first movie, Oogway finally chooses a Dragon Warrior when he was incredibly old and fully at peace and ready to move on. Here we see Shifu's just basically forcing Poe's hand to choose a new Dragon Warrior. And a character that's supposed to be the new focus on interest is written with no grace. Okay, fine. I get Shifu gets a little annoyed with Poe sometimes, but here's the thing though. I don't think Shifu would be this much of an asshole. At first in the first one, he strongly dislikes Poe, but eventually, he grows to warm up to him, starts training him with food, and starts using that to train Poe to be the Dragon Warrior. When he finds out, he's able to learn Kung Fu through the means of food. He uses dumplings to train Poe for, Kung Fu moves, and stops being harsh on Poe. This guy warms up to Poe as that movie progresses. Sometimes he still gets a little annoyed with Poe's antics, but Shifu would never kick Poe out of the Dragon Warrior role. That would never happen in the first three movies. When we get back to Poe and Zen, they're at Juniper City. There's a large lake to get across, and they enter the bar. There's a bunch of thuggish animals there, and while Poe's trying to find a way to get to the city, Zen literally goes back to stealing shit again by screwing with a bunch of patrons and wins their earnings, or actually cheats through the earnings, orders enough food. And then they find out Zen cheated because the plan was so shitty. She just hides all the tokens in her tail. And the tavern's manager is obviously angry at this, and sends the tugs to kill Poe and Zen. It's also a problem because apparently the tavern is on the edge of a cliff, and Poe and Zen have to fight their way through the crooks, and Poe utilizes the staff of the blast. They fall out of the window. There's a boat operated by a fish named Captain Fish, who's voiced by Ronnie Cheen, who lives inside a seagull mom's mouth, and they take Poe and Zen to the city. So they get there. Poe finally finds out Zen's a wanted criminal. And so, because he's with this wanted criminal, he gets arrested, but she breaks them out, somehow knows how to break them out, and it leads to guards chasing the two of them through the city. And then Zen sneaks them to an underground part of the city that's called the Den. And their leader, who's you got Ki Kwan voicing this character, and even he does nothing. His name is Han, who's kind of this armadillo. Wow, you got a legend in this. So instead of having Poe team up with this character instead, honestly, I would have rather Poe teamed up with this guy instead. Would have liked to see Ki Kwan's finally coming back, and he's given this disappointing role with little screen time. I'd rather this guy be Poe's sidekick instead. This would have been better. Maybe if it was this too. But he's useless here. He's not even happy to see Zen. Yeah, like, well, yeah, that's not a shock. Yeah. And the inhabitants are apparently a bunch of crooks that take pleasure doing bad deeds. Han agrees to hide them there for a brief bit, and Poe continues to try to teach Zen how to do good, and then Han kicks them back out. So yeah, pretty much most of the film, Zen just has some worse dialogues and interactions, like, especially for a Kung Fu Panda character, she's insufferable. She just pops out of nowhere. You're forced to give it. You're supposed to actually like this character. She has such crappy backstory, development or charm. Like, she literally just has a new Gen main character syndrome and just being great at everything. Like, Poe, on the other hand, worked hard, suffered, went through emotional growth, to become a Dragon Warrior in the past 3 movies. We're just supposed to accept Zen as the flawless, perfect character that can just fight on par with an evolved version of Poe and a near stalemate. Zen even uses Oogway's staff right away with no training, nothing even needed. The character, like, literally, this is pretty much the animated Rey from Star Wars. Just gifted beyond any other character in the history of Kung Fu Panda, breaks the rules sense of growth the entire series uses itself in. Like, when you remove Poe and his when you remove Poe's dynamic with the Furious Five, that's always been an awesome highlight of the first 3 films. You remove that and you get a less interesting sidekick instead. So yeah, Poe and Zen then make their way to where Chameleon's place. They try to go through the back entrance, and accidentally wake up at the Komodo Dragon Guards after, like, we have that dumb fart joke with Poe. Now, like, I don't remember any fart jokes happening in the first 3 movies. And then they go through a bunch of traps before they make their way inside. Like, how, like, Zen starts to warm up to Poe is stupid, because when they're about to enter, Poe, like, gives this peach seed. He's like, and she's like, what the heck is this? Like, oh my god, like, yeah, this is one of the reasons why her suddenly warming up and suddenly feeling bad for betrayal is forced. She clearly doesn't even sound. Most of the movie, she just sounds like she doesn't give a fuck about being teamed up with Poe. She's almost got him killed. She almost got him killed in the tavern by cheating. She tried to steal shit from the Jade Palace. She broke the Jar of Souls. Yeah, carelessly. Unlike Poe, who did it by accident. Zen clearly tried to break it on purpose. Like, why did the jar a bunch of dead people? Weird. Yeah, she acts like that the whole fucking film. Yeah, so yeah, she gets Poe trapped, and this was my biggest pet peeve here. This is where you try to sympathize with her. Like, she gets Poe trapped, and Zen just takes the staff, and apparently she's the AI bot Chameleon's apprentice, and tricked Poe into giving the staff. And then, because she took Zen off the streets after seeing potential in the thieving skills, and now the Chameleon has the staff, and wants to open the spirit realm and steal the essence of other dead Kung Fu people. And Poe's 3 enemies, because she was denied the chance of practicing Kung Fu because she's too small. Well, yeah, because you look like a fucking joke. You don't even look like a threat. No wonder you didn't learn Kung Fu. Because you suck. And now she has all the power she can steal. Now she can expand her criminal empire. But Poe escapes the cage, breaks through the floor, fights more guards, and makes it a bridge. Chameleon disguises herself as Zen. It's obvious. It's the Chameleon disguising to trick Poe and throw him off a bridge. But apparently, like, Zen gives out this forced big no, as if suddenly she now cares about him. Since when did you care about this guy? You almost got him endangered him many times. You got him arrested. You almost got him murdered. And, like, literally, you insulted his master. You tried to steal and break stuff in his palace. We're suddenly supposed to buy you suddenly care about this guy and suddenly supposed to feel bad for you? I sure didn't. No, so fuck this character. But yeah. Pain and Lee arrive and they save them, and then they take their journey back to the city. And Poe expresses dismay over Zen's betrayal, but his 2 dads, like, they give him words of encouragement so he can go on the mission. So they see the Chameleon's guards bringing giant cages into the palace for the masters. Yeah, like from here, like, you know, like, not only is Zen's story lazily cliche, because you know that she's going to turn from hardcore thief to heart of gold for, like, no reason, despite the fact she comes off as unlikable throughout the whole film. Yeah, of course, like, you know she's obviously the Chameleon's apprentice, so it's not a shock. Yeah, just for some convoluted scheme to get the Chameleon the Staff of Wisdom, and then she'll turn on the Chameleon, help Poe win for some force suddenly cares about him. And then she'll become the new Dragon Warrior. Yeah. Like each movie Kung Fu Panda deals with a certain tone. The first was somewhat high stakes because like Tai Lung was after the Jade Palace. It's about spirituality. You change yourself to be better. Embrace self-love and better yourself for addition. Like Pooh like walks away with confidence in his kung fu and embraces his inner drive to fight Tai Lung. You have the darker second movie, which was definitely the best one of the series, which you all know. Like, yeah, like in the takeaways, while people should embrace their own nature, they shouldn't confuse it with a predestined nature or one placed upon them. Like in that movie, like Po learned the part of being a good peacekeeper was trying to inspire enemies and allies alike, and also fight for good if need to be. Like, yeah. Yeah, like even like you think after like I really thought after The Last Wish, DreamWorks was gonna be back on track. Like apparently not. People were so mad about KFP3 being lighthearted, which yeah, it was. I wish it wasn't too lighthearted, but even it didn't downgrade the whole movie for me. This one, like KFP3, didn't even feel this kiddie-like. Didn't be considered a Kung Fu Panda film. This just feels like it's aimed more for toddlers. You think like they would have learned from the criticisms of KP3 being lighthearted? This just goes more and more kiddie-ish. Yeah, so the AI bot Chameleon then opens the portal to the spirit realm. Tai Lung comes out first and surprised that Chameleon acquired Uguay's staff, then mops the floor with Chameleon's guards, but Ferocity used the life, the Chameleon uses her tongue to steal his essence, his own nerve attacks him to trap him in the cage, and then other villains like Lord Shen. Why the fuck is this guy in the spirit realm? This guy killed a bunch of pandas, killed Poe's mom, caused his parents to die brokenhearted, was gonna bomb all of China. This guy was a genocidal fucking maniac. Oh, and killed the wolf boss when he refused to go through further with his plans and stabbed his throat. Why is this guy in the spirit realm? Tai Lung and Kai in the spirit realm makes sense because they got banished there. Lord Shen was crushed by a fucking cannon. Why is this guy should not be in the spirit realm? This guy should be in like the Kung Fu version of hell. This guy should not be in the spirit realm. Yeah, these guys just get brought back for no reason. Why is that? Because they want to be like Spider-Man No Way Home in the finale. Except the thing was, the villains and other Spider-Man played a fucking role in No Way Home and weren't silent cameos. Like, hey, here's like thing though. Hey, remember the first movie Tai Lung? Hey, remember the second movie Lord Shen? Hey, remember the third movie Kai? They're all back and they're quiet. Except for Tai Lung, who gets like a few lines. The other two just make like faces like, literally, that's all they do. Tai Lung makes a bit of dialogue, but the other two don't. So why have them in the movie? For the fan service. For the nostalgia. In your face. Which I'm fucking tired of. Yeah. Yeah, somehow Lord Shen is there. Once again, like seriously, like Tai Lung and Kai were at least banished to the spirit realm. So it makes sense for Kai to be there. It makes sense for Tai Lung to be there. Somehow Shen is somehow allowed to go there. Which he shouldn't. Yeah. Like, if they just wanted to save money from giving them dialogue, they should have just not even had them in the movie in the first place. And it would have made the final scenes with Chameleon a little less odd. Like, I did not like the use of Tai Lung here. Like, he wasn't the greatest villain, but here's the thing though, even Tai Lung was better than this AI bot joke. Like, the trailers show Tai Lung being released from the spirit realm, and with a fight between him and guards Chameleon, then people really thought that Tai Lung would return, but no. Instead, like, Tai Lung doesn't even serve a purpose, just to lose his kung fu skills to be trapped in a trap half the movie. Half the whole finale. Like, he does not have a purpose, and it's a waste of resource. Hell, the finale here is just lazy, because Po runs across the bridge to get back inside the palace. Zen tries to stop him from getting himself killed. Like, get the fuck out of here. You clearly didn't care about this guy from the beginning. Like, Po doesn't fall for her shit. Like, yeah, he's clearly pissed off at her. Like, good, be pissed off at her. This chick definitely deserves to have you be pissed off at her. After she's caused you grievance half the damn film. And they have a brief fight, then Zen randomly hugs Po. They just reused the hug from this movie. The hug between Tigress and Po was done better in the prison fight. That was done way better because Tigress didn't want to lose him. Like, yeah, like, and when, like, Po got shot by a cannon, Tigress was fucking devastated. And like in the novelization, she even like even cries at one point in the second film. Like, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, she wasn't really nice to him in the first movie, but here's the thing though, she got character development in the sequels here. Like, she really warmed up to him at the end of the first movie now. And now she's one of his best comrades right there. So you bought her suddenly feeling devastated that Poe got shot. Like she actually thought her own friend died. Right there. That was a well done moment. It's just done here to rehash that. In 4, it's just rehashing the hug from the second movie. So yeah. So, and she expresses remorse for deceiving him. So yeah, it doesn't fall for it. So Zen goes with Ping Li to convince Han and everyone else to join the fight. But they only want to do it though because they just want to do violence. Not because they care and they're worried, but no, they just like to be violent. So the Chameleon finishes stealing the essence of the villains and the masters and imprisoning them, and goes to conquer the land, and the crooks beat up Chameleon's guards, and Poe and Zen get back inside. They make it to the Chameleon. She shifts into forms of everyone she trapped, making Poe fight his old nemesis, and then turns to a monstrous hybrid of everyone that flies Poe and Zen to the top. They bring her back down, and then shifts into the evil version of Poe, which is from the trailer. So Poe has to kick his own butt, and Chameleon ends up trapping Poe though. But Poe gives Zen the staff. After he gets it back, convinces that she has the power to use it. No, she doesn't. Zen somehow is able to fight the AI bot Chameleon, and the staff summons the Dragon City energy like before and then knocks her down. Goes for one more move, but Poe takes the staff back and just whacks her over the head with it. Here, and then the Kung Fu Masters are freed, and Tai Lung approaches Poe and admits Poe's a greater warrior than he originally believed. So Tai Lung, Shin Kaido, their masters, give Poe the first in Palm Slough, and Poe opens the door to the Spirit Realm to send them all back. And then Tai Lung just grabs Chameleon and takes her away with them. Yeah, that's her defeat. Just gets whacked in the head with the staff, gets carried off in the realm, just pleading for her life. Shifu got the finger hold, and even he didn't plead for his life. Shen got crushed by a cannon, he did not plead for his life. Kai got banished back to the realm, and even he did not plead for his damn life. Chameleon's just picked up and carried there by Tai Lung screaming, "Please, no!" Like, they're supposed to defy this fight? Like, what happens to... So, like, here's the thing after this. What happens to all the other two foes? Do they just go back to being invisible air? Or hell, they'd be all... The Spirit Realm people will probably be all like, "Hey, you're free, you got your powers back. You're all going to hell. You three are going to hell. Forever. At least you're freed." Yeah, but you're still going to hell for life. Or, suppose that they didn't get to the Spirit Realm, they'd be like, "Well, hey, it's you three. You three are going to jail." So they just go back and just get turned to Spirit Realm air. They never explain that. So, after that, Zen joins Poli and Ping to return to the Valley of Peace, and is willing to go back to jail, like, yeah, send her back to jail, please. But Poe says escorts her to Jade Palace so she can become the new Dragon Warrior. Shifu obviously does not like this idea. Clearly. Which I clearly side with him on that. Like, she should not be the Dragon Warrior, after how much of an asshole she was throughout the whole film. And Zen questions she really does have what it takes to be the Dragon Warrior, but Poe tells her what Ping told him, is that the best just comes from the most unlikely ingredients. So Zen agrees to join Poe, and Shifu goes to meditate near the peach tree. And like, yeah, you get the unfunny joke again. And the tree planted in the first movie before Oogway died is starting to finally grow. Like, yeah. Shifu has every right not to be happy with Zen being the Dragon Warrior at all. Like, this should have went to Tigress. Like, Tigress was with Poe for all the damn movies. And the only one of the Furious Five who accompanies him the most. Like, yeah, like, once again, like, Tigress wasn't also nice to Poe at all in the first movie, most of the time. But, like, she got better character development in the sequels, and is literally his closest comrade in the next two movies. So you actually buy that. Like, she warmed up to him in the end of the first movie, she finally respected him, and now she's finally his comrade in the second and third films. Instead, the Dragon Warrior goes to this bratty nuisance that almost got him killed, stole from the Jade Palace, tried to break stuff even, insulted Shifu, was literally an apprentice with the bad guy. Yeah, like, and even Poe didn't try to steal shit in the first film at all. And when he broke the jar once again, that was an accident. He did not intend to break that. Even he didn't believe he was the Dragon Warrior at first and thought Oogway made a mistake. Like, and during the credits, the Furious 5 return because they were off on their own adventure, so they were not in the movie at all. So they can save money, so they can make more, so they can make the other 5 and 6. So they help train Zen, and that's how the movie ends. And hey, it made $545 million, so of course they're gonna make 5 and 6. Can't wait to see even more lighthearted rehashes of 2 and 3, and even all being about Aqua's annoying character, even though through post-development that happened in 2 and 3, except they'll make it lazy and just have her master everything. Can't wait for the Kung Fu Panda version to The Last Jedi. I can't wait for the Kung Fu Panda version of The Fall of Shitwalker. We had the Kung Fu Panda version of The Force Awakens here. Can't wait to have that with the next 2. If I have any good qualities, okay, I'll admit, when Tai Lung acknowledged his respect for Poe in the end, I'll admit I did like that part. I did like that bit, so I give that scene a pass. That bit was nice to see. I did like some of the opening bit where Poe was posing at the restaurant with the fans, when he goes to the opening of the restaurants, and and I did like some of the voice acting for Jack Black, James Hahn, and Bryan Cranston. Like, it's nice to see Penn and Lee Shane have a subplot together, even if it was done horribly. Other than those, like, there's just not much for me to like about this. I've seen worse movies this year, but this was definitely among the worst films I've seen this year. So yeah, if you love these 3 movies, just keep it at these 3 movies. You don't need to watch this. So in the end, guys, KFP 4, it's an avoid for sure because it's not needed, it's lazy, it's no purpose, it's a disgrace to the first 3, it's pretty much The Force Awakens at the Kung Fu Panda movies. Just stick with these 3 movies. I'm just going to stick with these 3 movies, and I'm going to pretend this 4th one and the next 2 don't exist. 3 was the ending. Just stick with those 3. Anyways, guys, that's it for my bad movie review of Kung Fu Panda 4, and here's how I rank it. So overall, if you are a Kung Fu Panda fan, you're not going to like this one, so just avoid it unless you want another Force Awakens or Diary of Disney, the animated version of those movies. And if we're going to rank Kung Fu Panda 4, I'm going to give Kung Fu Panda 4 a 5 out of 10. Alright, there we go, guys. There up some of my bad movie review for Kung Fu Panda 4. But as always, I want to know in the comments down below what you thought about it, whether you liked or hated it, whether you think it's one of your most hated films this year, or whether you think there's also worse movies you've seen this year, whether it's on your best or worst of this year so far. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review of Kung Fu. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for this bad movie review. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.